Hello, my name is Shul, and today I will be presenting to you the pet problems that I have found in Japan. Of course, I will start with an introduction, then I will go over breeding, puppy farms, animal abuse, regulations, animal shelters, and of course I will finish with a conclusion. So today we will be talking about Japanese pet problems. I will mainly talk about dogs, as those are the animals who are most affected by these problems. But this goes for almost all uh, animals, well, pet animals. You'll see it in a second. So the problem started mainly in the 1960s with the beginning of breeding of dogs. In the 1960s, the people of Japan wanted to have like this perfect image called the My Home image. They wanted to have a house with a garden, kids, and a pet. Most of the time, a dog. So then a lot of breeding started. In 1983, it became a lot worse because of a movie called Antarctica. Then the dogs of the movie were 17 huskies, and the movie was wildly popular in Japan. And out of nowhere, everyone wanted to have cute little huskies. The problem is, huskies grow up fast and become very big, and after that, a lot of those animals end up in shelters. And at the moment, there's a big hype for small dogs, but this often leads to breeding dogs the wrong way and with a lot of complications for the animals. So the biggest problem with the breeding is also the conditions that they are bred in. This goes for puppies, but also like for other cute animals like kittens, hamsters, bunnies, and other fluffy animals. But often the situation they are bred in aren't that good. Like you see, sometimes there are way too many in way too small cages, and inbred is often over and over again, so that they have a lot of complications. It's very bad for the animals. It also often has little to no regulations, so this leads to animal abuse that's hidden and um, actually way too common. When I say regulations, it's not that there are none. For example, in 1973, the first Animal Control Act came into place. The problem is the reason that this act was put into place was not for the animals, but actually because the Japanese government wanted to please the Queen of England, who came in for a visit, and she is very fond of dogs, so that's why they actually put this into place. However, they did not think it through, and honestly, the often is not followed up either. They also added in a no-kill policy. That means that you cannot put animals down, but this leads to complications that I will show you in a minute. The biggest problem with the no-kill policy is in animal shelters. There are way too many animals, because and even if the animals are sick or unwell and should actually be put down to put them out of their misery, the shelters don't want to do it directly because of this act. Um, there at the moment there are 200 animals per day that are being put to sleep, but as the animal shelters are scared for this no kill act, they use the kill truck. And honestly, I didn't believe it when I was first reading about it, but basically what it is, it's a big truck. They load up the animals, they drive to a crematorium, and somewhere along the way the driver pushes a button so that the animals in the back are being gassed. um, they do this so that they cannot determine where the animals actually died, and so as there's like no place where they can put on a case on this truck. So the biggest problem with this is that often this is not done in a very secure and protected area, so sometimes the animals survive and are basically thrown alive into the incinerator of the crematorium. So this, yeah, it's just horrible. So honestly, this calls for a change, a change of mindset mainly. I believe that if people start thinking more about adopting and more before they start adopting, this would really help. a dog should be for life. This also goes for other animals. You have to take responsibility for them, and if you cannot, then it's your responsibility to find a new and better place for this. Don't just drop them off at a shelter. Also, don't give an animal as a gift to someone. Often if this person does not plan on receiving this, it's just in the way, and it might just end up in a shelter again. So not only should the regulations change to protect these animals better, but really I believe it's the mindset of the people. If you really want a dog or a cat, go get one from the shelter. There's a ton of those animals that need your help. Well, thank you very much for listening to me. This was my presentation, and on the next slide you will see my references.